change. Vivianne Wandera joins us now with more. Vivian, first of all, what did Ruto have to say, and why did he say it now?
Well, in his letter in The Guardian, Ruto talked about Kenya having the largest wind farm in the world and said that Kenya also has 92% renewable electricity right now. But Ruto also talked about the urgency on the issue to do with the climate crisis. And his comments come at the backdrop of the just concluded United Nations General Assembly that was held back in September, where many African leaders were shocked when their calls for tackling the climate crisis were overshadowed by the war in Ukraine and the needs of Ukraine, which seemed like Africans' problems were not really an agenda during the meeting, something that he also talked about in his open letter to The Guardian in The Guardian. But he also talked about the climate crisis being one of the things that his government will tackle and one of his government's top agenda. Remember, during his inaugural speech when he was sworn in as president, he also talked about tackling climate crisis as Kenya is now facing some harsh effects from the climate change that is going around the continent of Africa.
Now, this letter was published on the same week as a ban on GMO grain in Kenya was reversed. How is that going down? Is it likely to make much of a difference in terms of helping Kenya or anywhere on the continent tackle the ravages of climate change?
Well, lifting the ban on the GMO crops that has been there for 10 years now, it was imposed back in 2012, has been a huge discussion since the cabinet communique that was sent out yesterday on Monday. And this is because of the concerns that some quarters have about the GMO foods and the effect it has on the human body. But some people say that this is good for the country, as the country has now missed its fifth rainy seasons, and about 3.1 million people are facing starvation, especially in northern Kenya, in places like northeastern, in Turkana, where people have died because of lack of food. People have lost their livelihoods, they've lost their cattle, and most of these people are pastoralist communities. So this is a huge loss for them. But also there are concerns on the effect these crops have on the human body. But also there has to be a way for the president to be able to tackle the crisis right now. And it seems that the decision to lift the ban on GMO crops in both cultivating and importing them seems to have been a short-term solution that him and the cabinet discussed, and so that it is a way forward, because this is most of these crops are drought resilient and also resilient to diseases that can kill food easily.
Thank you so much, Vivianne Wandera, there for us in Nairobi.